Hey, Shalom. Bear with me. Check the feed. Are we live? Hey, Shalom. Before I get started, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right. Been a little while since I've been back to the spot. Just want to bring it out real quick. All right. Before it get dark, nice little area, wood line, So I was thinking about, getting right into this thing. I was thinking about the scripture where the Lord said, "Blessed is he that keepeth his garments." All right. And I want to just kind of land back off that in the spirit. Lord willing, it's camp lesson. It's edifying. All right. Got to switch it up real quick. But anyway, let me get into that real quick. Just like I said, I was just thinking about that. We'll bring it out here. All right. So let me go to the. I was looking at this earlier in the chat. Let me just let the scriptures follow. All right. So, matter of fact, we'll read that first. Here we go. So this is Revelation 16. Red letter Yahweh speaking. All right. Revelation 16 and 15. It says, "Behold, I come as a thief." All right, and that's how Yahweh is coming back. All right, he's coming back where people are going to be completely unaware. All right, which I'm going to talk about here. Right. So it says, "Behold, I come as a thief, and blessed is he that watcheth." All right, and we're all watching what? Prophecy. All right, different events that are taking place worldwide, globally. That's the scriptures, man, that tie back into the scriptures, right? So we're watching. We're occupied in prophecy, as the scriptures say. Revelation 16:15, "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments." All right, the garments going back to having the truth, the oil, the correct doctrine, right? "Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame." And a lot of Israelites, that claim that they believe, all right, they're going to be found naked. Because of our people, especially you jakes that know you Israel, all right, you're going to be found naked because first and foremost, you're not properly clothed with the correct doctrine, the truth, all right? And that's what I was thinking about, man, because it's going to be a blessing in that time, all right, when all this shit goes to hell, right? But us, the hopeful elect, we stuck to the foundation, all right? We stayed true to the true doctrine, all right? And I was just thinking about that, but anyway, I want to go here into the chat. We'll add more scriptures, all right? But it says here in the chat GPT, it says Revelation 16:15 is one of the most sobering sobering per-ethical warnings in all Revelation. It drops right in the middle of judgment, not comfort, and that's intentional, all right? So Revelation 16:15. So number one, it says, "Behold, I come as a thief." It says this sneaky in character. It means unexpected in timing, right? And that's how Yahweh Shai is going to come. And he referenced this. He referenced that point throughout the scriptures on how he's coming back as a thief in the night, right? So it says this does not mean sneaky in character. It means unexpected in timing. All right, because people see Yahweh Shai is going to come when people least expect it. All right, and this is what we warn you of, man. Okay, this is why we've been paying attention to what all the tokens and the signs. 2 Ezra 9. All right, measuring the time diligently within itself. Okay? So it says, the warning is for those who are not spiritually alert, right? It says the warning is for those who are not spiritually alert, not for the faithful who are watching. See that? So many people are not spiritually alert, right? Let me get something real quick. All right, Matthew 24. All right, because you got to be alert. You got to be on the watch. Hence, we are the watchmen. All right, Matthew 24, just real quick. Okay, Matthew 24, in verse 42. We'll start up a little bit. Okay. So let's start it. We'll read down to it. So Matthew 24 and 34. It says, well, I started 32. Matthew 24:32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, know that the summer is nigh. Verse 33. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. All right. So understand that all these things that we've been bringing out, the prophecies, all right, Jacob's trouble, civil war, famines, okay, that are brewing up globally. All right. These all signify that destruction is at the doors, man. All right. It says, verse 34, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. All right. It says, verse 35, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of the day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels in heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. All right. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving into marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And it's going to be the same thing when it comes to the salvation of the Lord's elect. Right? People are still operating in the fashion of this world, you know, marrying, giving into marriage, partying, you know, just living their best life, not knowing that, again, is at the doors, right? It says, verse 39, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be, right? So the flood is getting ready to happen again, but this time it's going to be a flood of fire. All right, the second death. All right. 40, then two should be taken in the field, and one should be taken in the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one should be taken and the other left. All right, going into being taken up, being abducted, man, by the chariots. Verse 42, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doeth come. This is why we're watching every day, man. Steadily occupied in the prophecies. All right, because in a given day, everything in America is going to change, man. All right, that transition that we're in the midst of right now, this man is on he's on borrowed time. All right, so they're pressing the issue. All right, they got to bring this thing to pass, the chip. All right, we see the different components of the beast being established, the social credit scores, this whole ice cube shit that's going on. All right, this Gestapo that Trump has created, this military force that's basically waging war against the American people, man. It's all going down. All right, it says, verse 42, right? Matthew 24, verse 42. Watch therefore, ye know not what hour your Lord doeth come, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, right? If you knew the thief was coming to break into your house, you would have been watching, right? It says he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Verse 44, Matthew 24, verse 44. Therefore be ye also ready, for such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. All right, and this is what we've been stressing through the Spirit, man. All right, when you at least expect it, is when. All right, so you got to stay occupied, man. You got to stick taught. All right, don't. This ain't the time to waver and doubt. All right, you have to be solidified in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got to believe. All right, because this shit is almost done, and that's the Spirit that's been basically going out, man. Okay, to prepare ourselves. All right, to make ourselves ready as it goes into Matthew 25. We'll come back to that. All right, just thinking out loud. Okay, but it says 1 Thessalonians 5:2, the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, so cometh as a thief in the night. All right, so all these different references throughout the scriptures that let us know that Yahushua is going to come unexpectedly, right? So it says a thief only surprises the unwatchful. That's heavy, right? It says number 2, blessed is he that watcheth. To watch in scripture means Spiritual alertness, discernment, obedience, awareness of prophecy. All right, and that's the point. Okay, that the majority of Jake, they're unaware of prophecy, nor do they care. All right, and that's going to lead to the destruction. It says this is active, not passive belief. Ezekiel 33:6, the watchman is accountable if he sees danger and stays silent. You see that? And that's why we out here day in and day out giving you a warning, man. We're not staying silent. The Lord said, give him not rest, give him no rest, right? Let me get that in Isaiah. Okay. All right. Isaiah 62:6, it says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, keep not silence, man. All right? So we're supposed to be active in this thing, man. No breaks, no time off, no fucking jobs. Right? Nothing should be hindering us from the work of the true work, man, of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Okay? Because you still have members of the hopeful elect that are still coming in these last seconds. Hey, we fucking 85, what did it say, 85 seconds from midnight to total destruction, according to the board of the what's it called, the board of the atomic scientists or something like that, man. All right, so these are supposed to be your top, you know, scientists, your renowned teachers or whatever. These people of grave importance that are letting the world know that we are at the door of destruction, man. All right, as they say, the end of humanity, but it's really the end of Esau's world. Okay, so you got that, and then you got how much more the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, the prophecies, man. All right, but it says, going back. So again, Ezekiel 33:6, the watchman is accountable. If the watchman is accountable if he sees danger and stays silent, and that's the point we were making yesterday with the beloved Elder Hawaii, man. You know, here it is. All these things are happening worldwide, and people are silent. You got guys that claim to be prophets and teachers that are silent, man. All right, they're worried about making a name in the world, man. All right, the podcast Israelites and shit. Okay, you know, trying to forward a brand. You know, but here it is. Everything about this ministry and, you know, the YouTube platform, hey, this thing is getting ready to get cut off. All right, the Lord is getting ready to withdraw his spirit from the YouTube, man, the internet, these platforms. You see what I'm saying? So where are these guys at, man? You know, the scriptures referred to them as was Isaiah 56 about how they're like dumb dogs that cannot bark. All right, because what's the purpose of having a guard dog, man? Okay, the guard dog is supposed to watch. Okay, if he sees an intruder, he's supposed to bark and alert the owner. But these guys are not doing it. They're self-willed. They're all about their own purposes, man. Their own intentions. You know, so it's not like these guys don't know what to do. It's not like these guys don't have the memo, the instructions of what to do. All right. So it says, okay, reading on. Watch ye therefore and pray always, right? It says watching equal living ready, not just knowing verses. Right, exactly. Verse number 3, it says, and keep of his garments. It says this is symbolic language drawn straight from priesthood and righteous imagery, represent righteous conduct, faith kept pure, not being spiritually defiled, all right? And also having the truth, man, having the oil, all right? It says Revelation 19, the fine linen is the righteousness of saints, all right? Going back to the knowledge, right? Revelation 3, 4, and 5. Revelation chapter 3, verses 4 and 5, it says, they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. To keep, it says to keep garments means not returning to sin, compromise, or spiritual sleep, right? A little bit more. Lest he walk naked. In scripture, nakedness equals shame, exposure, and judgment. See, this is what I'm talking about. Let me get that in, I was thinking about that in Zephaniah. All right? Many of you Israelites out there are going to be found naked, man. All right? You're going to be exposed, all right? Because you didn't have the proper covering. All right? Let me get that in Zephaniah, just thinking out loud. Zephaniah, talk about the stranger. You know, let me find that real quick. All right, this is Zephaniah chapter 1, and I start at 7 and read to 8. 8's the point. Zephaniah 1 and 7. Hold thy peace at the presence of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, thy power. For the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is at hand. See? For the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is at hand. For the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, hath prepared a sacrifice. It hath bid his guest. All right? And when you read Isaiah 34, verses 5 through 7, also Ezekiel 39 and 17, all right, the Lord is getting ready to prepare a sacrifice. All right? And these people are going to be part of that sacrifice in that fire. All right? And he has the animals ready to devour those bodies post-destruction. That's why I said he has bid his guest. All right? That's them animals that are going to eat. All right? When you read Ezekiel 39 and 17. Okay? So the sacrifice the Lord has prepared, that destruction in these last days, right? Verse 8, Zephaniah 1 and 8. And it shall come to pass, and it shall come to pass in that day, and it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice, that I will punish the princes and the king's children, and all such as are clothed with strange apparel, man. So again, just tying it back to what we read in Revelation 16, 15, being exposed and being found naked, all right? Many men are going to be punished that's going to be found in that strange apparel, okay? Because many of you jakes are covered in a strange and false doctrine, you know? You got Jake that's full-blown Muslims and Christians and, you know, Egyptologists and, you know, calling on all these different names, all right? These different doctrines, all right? So you're going to be punished, and you're going to be one of the ones that's going to be found naked when the Lord returns. You're going to be exposed and be put to shame and judged, right? It says this is not physical nakedness. It is being exposed as false, all right? And a lot of guys are going to be found out, okay? Being exposed as false, having no covering of righteousness. See that? Having no covering of righteousness, being caught unprepared when judgment falls. See that? That's why we said in I always bring that scripture out in Revelation 22, right? I mean, that's from the chat, right? Revelation 22, real quick. Okay. Revelation 22 and 7, red letter Yahushua speaking. Behold, I come quickly, blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. And I, John, saw these things and heard them, and when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel, which showed me these things. Then he said unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of the brethren of the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book, worship Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Verse 10, and he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. Verse 11, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. So that's the point. As we were reading, right, what did it say again about the nakedness? It says, this is not physical nakedness. It is being exposed as false, having no covering of righteousness, being caught up or being caught unprepared when judgment falls. So again, let he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. You see that? So these guys that are of the world that's trying to make a name, build a brand, all right, forward in themselves, all right, you're talking about, Hebrew Israelite community, all this bullshit that's coming from these different camps, these guys that have sold out, that took the bag, that have been compromised by Esau. Hey, let them be unjust still. All right, they can have this world, man, because this world is about to go, right, as we know it. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. So yeah, again, as I was saying earlier when we started, hey, stick to what you've been taught, man. Hey, stay rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because this shit is almost over, man. Okay? And it's going to pay off in the end. We just got to remain diligent, remain faithful, and stay occupied in prophecy, man. Okay? Hey, keep of our garments. You know, keep the oil, keep the fire burning, man. You know, it says 12, Revelation, and behold, I come quickly, And my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. Exactly, man. And that's crucial. All right. Imagine imagine what's going to happen to all these guys that gave up, that sold out, that quit, that stopped believing, that went back into the world. All right. That refused to submit to Yahweh Shem Shai. The Lord's getting ready to bring horrific judgment upon all these niggas, man. Okay, the Lord is going to judge every man according as his work shall be. So what type of work you putting up, man? What type of sacrifice are you putting up? All right, you have to consider those things, man, because the Lord not playing. Okay, when Yahweh Shah comes back, hey, heads are getting cut off, bro. Heads are going to be rolling out here, man. People are going to be beating the powder. Scripture talk about, man. It's going to be a terrible day. All right, so we want to be on the right side of the Lord when it all goes down, when it's all said and done, man. All right, because like I said, hey, the Lord is about to bring this ministry to a close, man. Okay, let's read a little bit more. It says number 5, and they see his shame. This speaks of public exposure before God, angels, and the nations. Right? It says. Let me go down a little bit, and then we'll get back into the scriptures, right? So it says, bear with me. Yeah, so it says, Revelation 16 is the chapter of the 7 last plagues, full wrath. Verse 15 interrupts the narrative because many will still be religious, many will still think they're safe, many will miss it. This warning is especially for those who think they already stand, right? 1 Corinthians 10 and 12, lest he think he stand and take heed lest he fall. Core message, the Messiah's return is certain. The timing will shock the unprepared. Salvation without obedience equals nakedness. Knowledge without diligence equals shame. All right. So it says, Revelation 16 is not comfort. It is mercy disguised as warning. All right. Stay awake, stay clean, stay faithful, or be exposed when judgment arrives. All right. This is from the chat. All right. So I thought that was pretty heavy. Just to open that up with. But like I said, that's what I was thinking about, man. All right. Blessed is he that keep his garments, man. That's serious business, right? Let's go to Matthew 25 real quick. All right. This devil's ready to come down with the wrath. They got the green light to kick your door in. All right. They got the technology already set up to they're watching everybody. They're hearing everything that's being talked about. All right. So it's all downhill from here, man. Okay. Matthew 25, starting at the top. All right, going into the wise and foolish versions. All right, bear with me. Okay, so this is Matthew 25, and verse 1, and it reads, it says, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and five were foolish," right? The wise represent the elect, and the foolish represent the 2/3, all right, and the false prophets. All right, so 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. Verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps. All right, the lamps represent the word. All right, it says they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. All right, the oil. All right, going back to what? Thoroughly breaking down the scriptures, man. Going into the meaning of words, definitions, thoroughly breaking down the scriptures, man. And you see that a lot of these guys in these camps, their leadership is terrible. They don't have the oil. All right, a lot of guys are surface level. All right, Ezekiel 37 talks about how the Lord covered us with skin and put the breath in us, but there was no breath in them. Roughly paraphrasing, man. So a lot of these camps really ain't got they don't really have the oil, they don't really have the spirit, and you see that through through their actions, through their teachings, man. You know, the things that they push. You know, it says took no oil with them. Matter of fact, let me get that in Proverbs, because hey, the oil is what keeps the lamp burning. You know, this is Proverbs. All right, Proverbs 21 and 20. Hey, how you doing? So this is Proverbs 21 and verse 20, and it reads, it says, there's treasure to be desired in oil in the dwelling of the wise. See? But a foolish man spendeth it up, right? Them foolish versions, right? It says, Matthew 25 and 4, but the wise took oil in their vessels, their lamps, meaning that the wise, all right, taught the word correctly, man, righteously, all right? It says, verse 5, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight, there was a cry made, all right, going into the awakening of Israel. It's part of that cry, all right? Going back to the 1960s, 1970s, where, you know, Israel really started getting rolling, all right? High priest Abba Bivens, Elijah coming back, Malachi, the 4th chapter, all right, talks about how Elijah will come back in the last days, you know, going into the awakening of Israel. It says, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him, all right? Verse 7, the point here, Matthew 25 and 7, then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, all right? And we always bring this out, that word trim goes into to put in order, arrange, or make ready, all right? So again, those wise virgins would be making themselves ready for the return of the Lord, okay? Those wise virgins would be, they would be keeping the garments. They would be clothed with the true and correct doctrine, all right? Basically, like I said, they would be found properly clothed, okay? Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Verse 8, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. You see that? And this is what we see, man. A lot of guys have lost the oil. You know, it's not even about really the truth no more with a lot of guys, man. Okay, it's about exalting themselves, forwarding a brand, making a name. All right, this whole podcast thing that's going on, man. Hey, a lot of these Jakes, these Israelites are all into that, man. It's not even about really warning the sheep. It's about meaningless debates, you know, making sport of the truth, making some type of, you know, making money and shit. Because that's what it all goes back to. All right, it's all about getting a bag out of the truth. You know, and Jake is simple. It's easy to get money out of Jake, man, because the scriptures talk about, you know, how simple our people are. So that's what it's about, man. You know, it says, Matthew 25 and 9, it says, but the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves, right? So when this shit go down, you talking about, you know, the microchip is not the mark of the beast. So when they implement this thing, what are you going to say to your congregation? What's going to be your answer then? All right, you say Jacob's trouble is not going to happen, whatever. You know, what are you going to say when it all happens? You know, what is your answer going to be for the congregation then? You see? You're going to have to figure it out for yourself. All right? It says, verse 10, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage. You see? Again, they that were ready, those that were prepared. As we talked about in that, what did it say in the chat about being spiritually, let me go back to it. What did it say on that point? It said, blessed is he that watcheth. To watch in scripture means spiritual alertness, discernment, obedience, awareness of prophecy, man. All right, so those wise virgins, okay, they're ready, they're watching, they're preparing for the return of the Lord. Okay, it says, Let me read that again, Matthew 25 and 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, all right? Salvation. And the door was shut, okay? Verse 11, afterward came also the other versions saying, Lord, Lord, open up to us, or open to us. Verse 12, but he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. All right? And those are the last words that you want to hear, man, that you don't want to hear. All right? It says, but he says, verse 12 again, but he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. All right? And it says in my sword right here, it says, I do not recognize you. Right? Verse 13. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. You see that? So again, it's all full circle. All right? Blessed is he that watcheth in the keeping of his garment. You see? Matthew 7. Right? You know? That's why that's why the apostle said, but nigga, you can't get it. Hey, we moving on. All right? This word is for the hopeful elect, those that have eyes to see and the ears to hear. That's it. All right? The door is getting ready to close. All right? The Most High is getting ready to close up shop, man. Okay? This ministry is about to be out of the way. All right? Matthew 7. Okay? Make a quick point. Matthew 7 and where I want to start at. Let's start at verse straight to the point. Matthew 7 and 21. Red letter Yahushua speaking. Matthew 7 and 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Right? Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? Verse 23. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Man, that's all you niggas that sold out, that fell off, right? This is what the Lord's going to say to you, man, in that day. Okay? It says, and the point I'm stressing is how close, in the spirit, how close do you think we are to that time? You know? Verse 24, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man. You see that? Tying that back to Matthew 25. Going back to those wise virgins, right? He said, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And that rock represents Yahushua, man. The foundation. All right? Scriptures talk about we have a, how's it go? We have a sure foundation. All right? And that's Yahushua. Right? It says verse 25, and that's another thing. These other camps, they ain't got that. They don't have the foundation. They don't have Yahushua, man. Yahushua. You know, it says, verse 25, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. You see that? So those wise virgins, basically, as I was talking about, when all this shit hits the fan, those wise virgins are going to stand because their foundation is the rock, Yahweh Shai, man. All right? They're not going to fold. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord is going to be with them. They're going to be covered. As we read in the chat, all right? Those that are unprepared, that are not spiritually alert, they're not going to have that covering. Okay? It says, verse 26, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, as we read, the foolish versions, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came. All right, and the rains and the floods is tied to everything that we've been going through in prophecy, man. All right, Esau coming down with his armies, his forces to chip. All right, the famines, the economic collapse. All right, this all ties into the rains, the floods, the turmoil that's coming. Okay, it says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it, man. So it's going to be a great fall amongst these guys that are not established in their foundation not being in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And we see it, man. You know, guys are waxing worse and worse when it comes to perverting the doctrine. All right. They have great despise, great disdain for the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. These guys are of the world, linking up with fucking niggas in Islam and vocab Malone and just all the madness that we've been seeing over the years, man. So when that fall happens, it's going to be great, as the scripture say. It said great was the fall of it. All right. These guys is getting the major bags, got the TV contracts and deals and shit. It's gonna be a great fall. You see? What else we got? It says, oh yeah, let me add that on there real quick. That Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter. And the Most High is making it so plain. It's like you can see it clearly, man. It's clear as glass, man. You can see right through it, man, how this thing's getting ready to pop off. Right? Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter, right? Bear with me. I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter, right? Wisdom of Solomon 4. Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon 4:4 says, for though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not fast, they should be shaken with the wind. Right? We just read about how the Lord is going to bring the flood, the winds, how it's going to beat upon that house. Right? It says, for they should be shaken with the wind, and through the force of the winds, they should be rooted out. Verse 5. The imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not right to eat, yea, meat for nothing, man. So those unprofitable branches, all right, are going to be broken off and cast into the fire, man. You see? So, this is serious, man. You know? And I got a little bit more here. But I just wanted to, stop out here. It's been a little while since I've been out here. All right. Let's grab, let's get some more here. What do you want to get? Because that was in Matthew 25, correct? Let me go back. Yeah, we made the point there. All right, let's go to, there's one I was thinking about. Was it Luke, the 13th chapter? Hold on. Luke 13, or was it Luke 14? Bear with me. All right, so this is hold on, let me find it. Talked about many stripes. It's like I said, these guys they know better, man, but they refuse to be obedient. All right, bear with me. Let me find that scripture real quick. Many stripes. Shall be beaten with many stripes, man. Yeah, Luke 12. I knew it was in Luke. Was it Luke 12 and 47? Bear with me. All right, so this is Luke 12, and let's start at yeah, damn, you can read down. Yep. So we'll start. And we'll start at verse 42. All right, Luke 12:42. And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said, Who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season? Verse 43. Blessed is that servant whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. All right, doing the work. Of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. But if that servant say in his heart, meaning his mind, my Lord delayeth his coming. And a lot of these camps are in that spirit. A lot of these camps are in the spirit of the Lord delaying his coming. Like we really got another fucking 40 years here, 30 years here. That's the spirit that's out here, you know? And how do we know it? Because guys are all focused about making a name, being somebody in this world, man. When we coming into the time where the Lord is getting ready to set this world on fire, man. All right? It says, but if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, to eat and drink and to be drunken, verse 46, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him. And we've been talking about this whole lesson here. It says, and the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at an hour he is not aware. See that? Going back to what? Not being spiritually aware. Not being aware of prophecy. That's what the Lord said he's coming back as what? As a thief. In an hour when he's not aware, and will cut him asunder. And will cut him asunder and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. Whoo, man. Verse 47. And the servant which knew his Lord's will. Right? Like I said, these guys, they know better. They know what to do. Right? But they choose to do what they want to do. All right? And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself. All right? We've been talking about this the whole time. All right? Those wise virgins, how they prepared themselves. All right? Blessed is he that keepeth his garment. All right? How those virgins made themselves ready. Okay? And the servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. All right? So guys are going to get their ass whooped, man, when the Lord comes back. Okay? Because they know. All right? You don't think they watching the videos, right? You don't think they you know what I'm saying? You don't think they're watching the correction videos and the rebukes. All right? They know what they're doing. They're going to be beaten with many stripes. Okay? It says, but he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For whosoever much is given of him shall much be required. Him be much required. And to him men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. All right? And that's the point, man. You know? So these guys, Jake better stop playing, man. That's all I can say. All right? Yeah, that's pretty much the point. Yeah, so yeah, we'll leave it like that. You know? I do got to make a run. All right? But Lord willing, this quick lesson was edifying, man. Just wanted to bring that out, man. All right, and hey, shalom to the next one. Yeah, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kirk with us, Barakatah, shalom. I'm out of here.